Should we just trade Quintez Cephus? Why should we not trade him? Would be my question to you, Craig. And so let me just pull up the depth chart just to get your
Sure.
bearings. Okay.
Yep.
Amon Ra, DJ Chark, JMO when he gets back, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, Trinity Benson, Khalil Pimpleton. Man, we got a lot of receivers. So my question is, Quintez Cephus, I feel like is in a hot, like his stock couldn't be higher, and his stock couldn't be higher because we really don't know what we have in him. NFL teams don't really know. He played well at Wisconsin. Measurables maybe weren't there. But here's a wide receiver that I would hate to just cut him. He could almost be cut at the end of the training camp.
Yeah.
So my thought is, why not trade him? Doesn't he make a perfect trade candidate because the wide receiver room's pretty full? He's probably going to get pushed out when JMO comes back anyway. Wouldn't it make sense to trade him rather than release a couple of good guys, receivers, him being maybe one of them? Could we find a trade partner, I guess, would be the biggest question for you. And should we trade him?
Okay. So do you want me to argue for trading him or argue against it? I can go either way.
Well, no, what do you think when you
I
hear
wouldn't.
that?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't think I would. And so, yeah, when you're asking me like, what do I really believe? No, I wouldn't, because I think we started to see what he was doing before he broke his collarbone last year. I think we were starting to see like, okay, this guy has some skills. He's already made a couple of great catches that we've seen quick little videos of in training camp. I think that Williams, right, is obviously not going to play for a little bit. So that means Cephus is the third or fourth receiver on this team to start the season.
Okay.
I think also last year you look and all of a sudden what were supposed to be our top two players, Williams and Perriman, see ya, hurt, can't play, actually, is what it was. And so we go and we're like, oh, we need to get somebody. We need to figure somebody out. So we go and we sign Trinity Benson and like it was just a revolving door. And I think to go 6 deep in the NFL at the wide receiver position is not crazy. I think you keep Khalif Raymond at that 6th wide receiver position and you allow him to do your return duties. And then you allow Reynolds and Cephus and Chark and St. Brown and Benson can all make the team coming out of camp because Williams is on IR to start the year probably, right? And Khalif Raymond can be that 6th guy. And then because we just got Jackson, the running back, that makes Igwebuike a little more expendable. And you can just allow Khalif Raymond to be your return specialist for both punt and kick instead of, having 2 return guys. So I just think when you mess around with it, it would almost make sense to keep Cephus and then give him some time to prove himself and see if the wide receiving core stays healthy in time for Williams to come back.
Yeah. And, I just thought that as you said that we could give him time. We could trade him if we needed to. Weeks, I think trade deadline's like week 6. So we could give him some games because Jameson Williams would be coming back around then and we would know really clearly what we have. But the reason I guess this came up was Dan Campbell talked highly of Trinity Benson and
okay,
Khalil
hit me with it. Come on, give me some stuff.
Yeah. So Trinity Benson, he was just, well, first it was kind of, I don't know how I found this, but like the HBO Hard Knocks producer was out checking out the team, getting to know, they're like, going through basically learning the team before they start filming. They want to know who they should have cameras on, whatever. And he said, they're like, hey, anybody stand out to you or any direction on who you might want to zoom in on or really focus on? He said Trinity Benson. He's like, Trinity Benson, this guy's jumping out at us. Now that's an HBO producer. I'm not saying we should trade our whole team based on what he says, and then Dan Campbell said, hey, I like Trinity Benson. Trinity Benson looks good. And so you start looking
at, they did say it was for year 2 when they got him, right?
Yeah, that's right. They did give up a few things. It wasn't much, but still gave up some things to get Trinity Benson. And then Khalil Pimpleton can handle the return duties.
He can.
Too, so he's got a little more versatility. So then you look at Cephus, and that's where I was thinking, because no one's going to give you anything for Benson or Pimpleton, but Cephus could get, and again, I think it would be like a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick. It wouldn't be much, but it's like, hey, if we're going to cut him anyway, or he's on the,
you may as well get
bubble,
something.
Yeah, you might as well get something. But now that we're kind of talking about it, the one thing I don't like I really don't. I love trades in Madden. I think I love pulling them off. I love
You
every
like him in
trade.
fantasy football?
Oh yeah, I would do any trade.
Okay.
You know, do a trade, do a trade. It's all good. But
Yeah. It's
in
fun.
the
See what happens.
NFL with a locker room where you're really trying to build the culture, I just think about. I mean, you're literally shipping a guy out. I don't love that aspect of it, but just
Yep.
on paper and as an exercise, I think it would make sense. But I also see where, hey, let's keep this guy. Man, what if he is? Because I loved him out of Wisconsin. I don't know what you thought of him coming out of college and when we got him, but I loved him, and I would like. I think he can be good. I would love to see it.
I really liked him at Wisconsin. I wouldn't say love, but I really liked him at Wisconsin. I thought he was a good player at Wisconsin. And then I was just absolutely shocked at the numbers he put up in the combine.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this the slowness of it. But then when you watch him in games, he doesn't look 4, 5, 6 slow. Like
Right.
he really doesn't. He has much better game speed. Okay, I'm gonna make a weird comparison. A guy who came out with a not great 40 time was Ocho Cinco, all right,
Oh
Chad
man.
Johnson. And then people are like, "Are you 4.5 guy?" And he just always answers by saying, "Do I look like a 4.5 guy?" Like some people have game speed, some people have track speed. And
Yes.
so, I do like Cephus, but he has the body to go with it. He to me is more proven than Benson. So if Benson comes out and kind of lights it up in the preseason and shows all what he is worth, then yeah, I totally understand it because Cephus was a Patricia Bob Quinn guy, and Benson this regime is brought in. So it's like, why wouldn't they want to stick with what they brought? So I do understand that side of it, but
Yes.
one of them should be traded. Agreed? Like, doesn't it make sense
Yeah.
that one of them maybe should go, even though it's not Madden? We don't just trade.
And you
Can't
don't
keep them
see
all.
trades really this time of year. I mean, we actually did it with Michael Brockers. We knew because we know people are getting released. So you're just like,
Yes.
I'm not giving you anything. I know you're asking because he's gonna get released. So
Mhm.
just release him. But the only thing I didn't like about Cephas, do you remember? I found a picture kinda.
Oh
He
my
always had the
goodness.
weird neck thing that's like it was supposed to be for his head, but it was just a loose, like large necklace. And I when we playing him, it's just like, is
Why are
that
you
supposed
doing
to
that?
be put that up if or take that off? Do you need that thing? Or maybe it was keeping his neck warm. I don't know. He doesn't do it anymore, so
Well,
he's fine.
no, because he's, in a dome. But like
Yeah, and
in an
hasn't
indoor,
played, but
he's playing. Maybe when we go to Green Bay in January, he'll bust it out.
oh, for the playoffs, yep.
Love
Or
it
yeah,
back in Wisconsin.
let's go.
Like I can be slow again. No,
Yes.
so yeah, I just it's hard. It's hard to look at that. Here's the truth. Last year, it was like, who's going to play wide receiver? And this year, there's like 7 or 8
Oh, I
that you're
mean, what
just
the
like,
heck?
you can make. So I think what we don't see in training camp and in practice will make a big difference, but also what we see during the games, during the preseason
Yep.
games. And now that this team is starting to have some depth, it makes preseason a lot more fun.
Oh my
And
goodness.
our first preseason game it's right around the corner. It's August 12, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like 10 days away. No, a week away, right? So
Yeah.
like it's a week away, and it's just like, yes, like I'm excited. Like there's actual position battles that will make it fun to watch into the second half.
Oh my gosh.
I know that's
Absolutely.
kind of
Yes.
off, but
Yes. No, to your point though, it's like, man, these guys have to play Trinity Benson, Khalil Pimpleton.
yeah,
We'll get a chance to see. I don't know. So
get a chance to see
yeah,
it. I
let
got
us
one
know.
more.
Yeah.
I got one more for you. Here's the thing, Cephas, Trinity Benson. Do you believe if it's like one of those things where it's like, no, we'd like to keep you and we'd like to keep you on the practice squad and we'll keep them safe every week, while yeah, like I get that side of it, but do you really think either one of those guys would clear waivers if they got released?
Right.
I
No.
don't think they do. So that is why what you're saying with the prime trade candidate, like I do get what you're saying. If the plan is to release him anyway, I don't think it's necessarily bad business to trade him. I don't know.
No, and I just think his stock is high just because it's like we're all going on potential. We've seen little flashes. I think a team would be like, yeah, okay, I'll give you a 6th round for him. I mean, which whatever, that's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's just
It's
the
worth more
major
than nothing.
it's more than nothing. In the big picture thing is we look at this. A year ago we couldn't find a wide receiver. Now we're like, let's trade him. I don't know. So it's like we're in a good place. So
Yeah.
a lot better. So make sure you subscribe. We
Yeah,
got
do
more
that.
Lions and Pistons content coming out, and we will see all of you on the next.